Gurpreet, we know that the elections are approaching, and you have been the Brampton's regional councillor for ward number 9 and 10. So, in these previous years, what key issues that you feel that you would like to mention or work on in the following years?
Well, I think the issues we've worked on, everything we've said we're going to work on, we've done. We've made promises, we've kept the promises, and we've delivered them. And I think one of the main things that people right now are currently issue they're facing is the crime wave. And what we've done is we've got a community police station that's coming up at Gore Meadows in Ward 10. And what we're going to do is look to get a full police division. We had a lot of pushback from the police saying we don't need another station there, but we let them know how our residents feel, the uncomfort that they have when you call the police and they're not showing up for 24 hours, or when you get your car stolen. And they just say, call the insurance company. So with this community police station, we're going to have more patrolling. We're going to have more footprint in the East End. And we're going to make sure that the response time is much, much quicker than it is. And so that's one of the main issues. We've had transit. I was able to get a Zoom bus directly from Ward 9 and 10 to Pearson Airport. We're able to get bus service free for seniors. When you're talking about affordability, we tried making life easier for everybody. And so that means bringing good paying jobs. So if you look at Ward 9, 10, whether it's the east part of it or the west part towards the 410 area, we have a number of jobs coming in, a lot of developments in terms of industry and offices coming. So hundreds to thousands of jobs we were able to deliver. And so traffic safety as well, whether it's a stop sign, whether it's a traffic light, whether it's our parks and getting new shade shelters or some of the playgrounds. We've delivered in every aspect. Are we done yet? Absolutely not. We got a lot more work to do, but very proud to work with our residents to deliver all of these.
Right. And how is Brampton keeping up with the inflation that Canada is facing at the moment?
Well, we took steps to freeze our city tax. So there's three parts of your tax. For every dollar you pay, 44% is the city, and the rest is the city and regional tax. And so the city portion we froze, and we understand that it's tough times, especially with what's going on around the world, some of the geopolitical events. They're affecting the prices, and we see food going up. We see gasoline at all-time highs. And just every day, simple things is costing people an arm and a leg. And so what we're doing is to keep more money in pockets and make sure we keep the economy in our city rolling. And like we said, we're going to move towards more freezes in our tax. Wherever we can help, one of my plans is to make the transit free for our students, whether we're talking about high school or college or university. More money in their pockets means more money they're spending and putting back into our economy. So these are just some of the things we're doing to keep to help people out in their pocketbook.
Right. And with the increasing crime in Brampton at the moment, considering the incident that happened at Sheridan College, there's a lot of misinformation in the community. I would say at the moment there are messages that are rolling on the WhatsApp groups, being the people being deported.
Mhm.
So, is the government doing anything to combat the misinformation that is being spread?
Well, I think one thing we have to also firstly take into account is that we're not targeting any specific group of people. For example, some people are talking about students. Absolutely not. Whoever these people are, whatever their current status is, what they did was incorrect in terms of this violent acts that occurred at the College Plaza near Sheridan. I wrote a letter to our police chief asking him for action. Number one is to provide some updates and information into the investigation to residents, and number two is to immediately find these culprits and put them away. Everybody's given due process in this country. A lot of people are saying they should be deported or they are deported. When the police gives us an update, we'll find out what the exact situation is. But, they'll have the due process. They'll go to court if anybody's charged. And after that, we'll see what happens. But what I can say, there's been a number of incidents at this particular plaza. there's been a trend there of unruliness and unacceptable behavior, and we were asking the police chief to come in directly and put some officers there, or make sure that we find a solution to all this.
Right. As you mentioned that over the past years, you fulfilled all the promise that you have made to the Bramptonians, but we're sure you must have faced some challenges during the process. So, what are those challenges?
Well, in council, getting things passed is a challenge, and one of the things I've tried to do is work with everybody to accomplish our goals, not just mine, but my fellow colleagues as well. COVID was a big challenge for all of us, and having to do council meetings, away from chambers, and you don't have direct contact with anybody. But we were still able to get things through and passed. COVID particularly was tough because we couldn't interact with people, so it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. Slowly, as things picked up, we were able to get out, and we were able to deliver a lot of. Care kits, packages, PPE kits, etc., and all that, especially to our seniors, since I was the chair of the seniors task force. So, one of the things for myself is when I face a challenge, I try to work with everybody to see how we can find solutions. And fortunately, we were able to find solutions, and we got all these things passed during COVID as well. And so, I want to thank our residents for being such great partners.
Right. So you mentioned COVID, and since now fall is beginning, and we have seen a trend that the COVID cases rise during the fall and the winters. And over the past years, we've also seen that COVID particularly hit the small businesses. So is government doing anything to support the working or the existence of small businesses in Brampton?
Yeah, so we have our economic development team that works directly with our small businesses, and we look to make sure that that they have the connections to the partners that they need. That anybody's even coming to do business here, we make sure we work with them to make sure that the facilities that they require, the services that we require, we offer. During COVID, at the region in particular, we passed a motion asking the province, hey, listen, instead of giving the big box stores these breaks and letting them be open, you're forcing the small businesses to do curbside pickup. And so we asked them to allow in-person shopping, but maybe limit the number of people in the store. And so those are some of the types of steps and measures we took to make sure we're standing by them. And so luckily we're out of COVID now, not fully. There's still some cases, but I feel like we've made we've stood up for our small businesses.
Right. So, regarding the recent elections that are coming up, I would like to ask: have you been door knocking, and what kind of issues are the residents putting forth you?
Absolutely. We've been door knocking. We have door knocking teams out every day. It's been tremendous response from the residents, and we've had a great relationship over the past 8 years. And so they know me on a personal basis. And so any type of issue, they always call me directly. We make house calls. We go directly to their house. And so the challenges are, again, as we mentioned, it's the crime and safety. We're addressing that. There's transit issues. There's the university issue. We're making great headway, a lot of positive discussions we've had with Guelph Humber and bringing their university here. It's just a matter of finalizing that. And so 5,000 additional students will be great for education in our city, but an economic booster as well. We have a number of issues that we're going to be working on in terms of bylaw reform, hiring reform. And so when we talk about bylaws, there's some unfair bylaws where people have, wide driveways, but they're getting penalized even though their whole street has wide driveways. And so I took steps to try to make sure that, we give some forgiveness to them in terms of going forward. If we want to have some more penalties, we can. But anybody with an existing driveway charge against them, we try to make sure we help them. We have more work to do in that. A lot of other bylaw reforms that are required. We're definitely going to work on them as well. And so there's challenges in municipal politics. There's always challenges. There's always issues. But we've been fortunate enough to have a great relationship with our residents to try to find solutions.
Right. And the residents have also been facing the flooded basements recently in Brampton. So, what is the government doing regarding that on the municipal level?
Well, Particularly in Ward 9 and 10, we've been fortunate where we didn't have the flooding issue, but we've been working with our fire and our provincial partners as well to see what type of assistance we can provide them. And so, hats off to our fire chief who was in the recent floods, was out there. We all tried to get out there and support our residents. And so, in Brampton, we stand with each other. And so a lot of people opened their homes up to some of them, people that were affected. And so we're going to make sure we continue to work with our upper levels of government and our regional partners as well to see what we can do to find solutions.
Right. So now you're standing for in the municipal elections that are coming up. Any final message that you would like to give to the viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. And so just want to thank everybody for their trust in the last 8 years. We were able to accomplish so much. And so the list is long. We don't have time to go over it right now, but whether it's standing up for our residents and affordability and auto insurance, I was able to get the first ever official advocacy movement to going, I would call it. We got 20,000 people who signed the signatures. Basement renovation programs I was able to introduce, so we'll provide you funding to upgrade your illegal basement and up to $30,000. I was able to get 89 affordable housing units in Ward 9, and so that's going to help some of our people in need. And I already mentioned getting bus service free for our seniors, getting $1.5 million in park rehabilitation and renovations done in Ward 9 and 10 alone. And so we feel we've worked really hard. We have a number of things that we're promising on our platform. And so when we say promise, we say we're going to deliver on them as well, because we've earned the trust of the residents. We've shown proven leadership, and we've delivered the results. And so we look forward to your support. We hope you vote for Gurpreet Singh Dhillon on the 24th of October.